What's up? I'm Old Man Winter, and this is my second video revolving around the different mastery trees in League of Legends. Today we're going to talk about the Cunning Tree and figure out which types of champions really excel from these masteries. If you missed my first video on the Frosty Tree, feel free to go back and watch that one. You won't regret it. Alrighty, let's get to it. First up we have Wanderer and Savagery. Wanderer provides +3 movement speed out of combat and is a great pickup for junglers. Junglers spend a lot of their time running through the jungle and in turn out of combat. This means that they benefit extremely well from the 3% movement speed increase, especially in regards to making a gank on the enemy laner. If you're not looking to jungle but still want to put some points in the Cunning Tree, Savagery is your next logical choice. This mastery provides 5 bonus damage per single target attack or spell on monsters or minions. This might sound useful in the jungle, but I think it better suits champions to spend their time in lane. The added damage to minions allows for an easier time to kill them when you're CSing, if you're struggling at that, or to simply push your wave faster if you're a bully type champion. The next level in the Cunning Tree has 3 different masteries to choose from. The first option is Runic Affinity, the second is Secret Stash, and the third is Assassin. Runic Affinity is a staple jungle mastery because it allows buffs from neutral monsters to last 15% longer. This includes Red Buff, Blue Buff, Baron, and Herald, as well as the 5th Dragon. 15% is nice in terms of the big buffs, but having your red and blue for longer periods of time, especially when clearing your jungle early on, is a big plus that no jungler should go without. Secret Stash, on the other hand, is a great pickup for supports. It allows your potions and elixirs to last 10% longer and turns your health potions into biscuits that restore 20 health and 10 mana instantly on use. The last option is Assassin. This mastery grants 2% increased damage to champions when no allied champions are nearby. This is a great pickup for your mid lane or your top lane as they spend the beginning half of the game alone in lane. The added damage is great when dueling with their counterpart and helpful when trying to 2v1 when the enemy jungler shows up to play. Moving down the line, we have Merciless and Meditation. Merciless grants 5% increased damage to champions below 40% health, and is a great pickup for any champion whose job it is to kill the enemy, primarily anyone but the support. Unless of course you're playing someone like Brand who loves to kill the enemies even as support. Meditation, on the other hand, regenerates 1.5% of your missing mana every 5 seconds. This is a great pickup for mana-hungry champions, but I find it to be especially good on supports because they primarily spend their time waiting to fight, blowing a bunch of abilities and mana in an instant, and then waiting around again. The next 2 masteries are Bandit and Dangerous Game. Bandit grants 1 gold for each nearby minion killed by an ally. You gain 3 gold, 10 if melee, when hitting an enemy champion with a basic attack, with a 5-second cooldown. This is by far most useful on people playing support. With the lack of gold income from farming lanes or jungle monsters, the support looks for any way they can to make money. Bandit is your go-to for a little extra welfare money. If you're not playing support, you should pick up Dangerous Game. This mastery grants 5% of your missing health and mana whenever you kill or receive an assist on an enemy champion. Keep in mind, even though I mentioned how strong Bandit is on supports, Dangerous Game is also very useful as you'll almost always be getting an assist when skirmishing in lane and certainly in the mid to late game. The second to last row in Cunning has 2 masteries, Precision and Intelligence. Precision provides 3 plus 0.3 per level magic penetration and armor penetration. This means that at level 18 your abilities and auto attacks will have the ability to ignore 8.4 armor and magic resist. Though not an extremely high number, it still provides a useful boost to your ADC or ability power mid laners. If you don't want to run that, you can then choose Intelligence. This mastery changes your maximum cooldown reduction cap from 40 to 45%. This mastery is a big pickup for champions that deal out a lot of abilities in a short amount of time. It's very useful pretty much for any champion in the game. With an increased amount of items in League of Legends reducing cooldowns in Season 6, running this mastery allows you to build another item and not waste money on useless cooldown reduction that isn't benefiting you due to the previous 40% cap. Reaching the final row of the Cunning Tree, it's time to decide which keystone you want to play with. There are 3 to choose from, starting with Storm Raider's Surge, then Thunderlord's Decree, and finally Windspeaker's Blessing. Starting with Storm Raider's Surge, this mastery states that if you can deal 30% of a champion's max health within 2.5 seconds, you are granted 40% movement speed and 75% slow resistance for 3 seconds on a 10-second cooldown. This mastery is a nice pickup for your assassin-type champions. As assassins, being tasked with nuking the enemy is your job. Why not run around even faster to go kill another target? Not every champion can do this, however, so you need to make sure you only pick this mastery on champions that burst damage. It's not a good pick on supports or tanks, as they will never do that amount of damage to even proc the Mastery's abilities. The second keystone is Thunderlord's Decree. On your third attack or damaging spell against the same enemy champion, calls down a lightning strike dealing magic damage in the area. This mastery scales 10 per level plus 30% of your bonus attack damage and 10% of your ability power, with a cooldown reducing 25 to 15 based on your level. We all remember when it wasn't uncommon to see all 10 champions on the Rift running this keystone. But with a few changes and buffs to other masteries, the area of the Thunderlord has been drastically reduced, though it is still very common on champions that dish out quick abilities or frequent poke attacks. That being said, many damage dealing champions have switched over to the Ferocity tree for their damage dealing keystone. The last keystone in the Cunning tree is Windspeaker's Blessing. This mastery is very situational based on the champion you are playing, because your heals and shields are 10% stronger. Additionally, your shields and heals on other allies increase their armor by 5 to 22 based on level, and their magic resistance by half that amount for 3 seconds. As you might assume, this mastery is primarily used on supports that give heals or shields to make use of the attributes provided by this mastery. If you ever see someone other than that running this keystone, you know they made a big mistake in champion select. In my opinion, the Cunning tree has very many different uses, but primarily you will see supports or poke-heavy champions running all the way down to the keystone for this mastery tree. In this current meta, however, it is more common to see Ferocity or Resolve keystones in-game. Speaking of Resolve, tune in next time when I go over the Resolve masteries and we'll see how this mastery tree has grown in popularity since patch 6.3. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next one.